Hello, this is a game between myself, Llewellyn, keep on saying that myself, and Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor is a strong player who enters 3-day opens and sometimes does quite well, but he often doesn't do as well as some of the other 3-day players. And his grade reflects that at 1806. 3-day rating. This is from a Llewellyn 3-day open in Wellfield High School in Leyland. The 3-day open, and I managed to get a draw. Well, I am black, and he opens with 1e4. Now I reply d6, which is a perk. Sometimes I play the Alekin, sometimes I play the perk, but usually these days I play the perk, especially against strong players. And he played d4, the usual line, and the perk is the difference between the perk and the King's Indian is the pawn. The King's Indian defense is the pawn is on c4, not c2 in the King's Indian. Now that has an impact on the queenside attack. What often happens is that black makes the queenside attack taking advantage of the backward pawn. The perk is underrated because of this. The queenside attack is actually quite effective in the perk, but the downside is that because he hasn't moved the pawn, he can castle queenside, so he can make a quick attack against the king side. So it often happens that white is attacking against the king side and black is attacking against the queen side. So I just continue. Then he plays h3. This is an unusual move, but it's becoming a lot more popular these days. I reply as normally against it. Then he plays knight f3, which is quite common as well in this position. I castle as normal. He plays bishop d3. That's a usual line in the Austrian attack. It's not. The weakness of this is c5, which is what I play, and he doesn't. He doesn't take the pawn. Taking the pawn allows queen a5. The usual line is d5 here. It has a 68% record, so it's a strong record. Gaining space in the centre. But what d5 does, it's about b5 here. Yeah, b5 is quite good. The reason is that this situation And what's the situation now? Well, white cat castle, and he's cat castle queenside, sure. And you can't castle at the moment. The queen could interpose to the castle, but the material advantage is it's even. Position's pretty even, but it's a bit better from b5 is always a trick used in other sort of situations in the perk. It's a trick to look out for. Anyway, going back to the position after castles, he didn't play 7 d5 after c6 after 6 c5. He didn't play 7 d5. He played castles. This allowed me to have an attack. But it was a dubious attack. Get into this position, and guess what I played here? But you never guess in a million years. I played knight g4, which is a mistake. It's only just a mistake. It has counter chances. But the idea is if the pawn just takes, the queen can't take because the bishop on c8 is defending the knight. If the pawn takes, then the bishop takes on d4. We just got to swap off the pieces. Although the computer likes the position after bishop h6 for white. There's nothing in it really. Anyway, he didn't play pawn takes g4. He played bishop e2, which is probably a better move. Then I played queen b6, another mistake. But I'm in fact hitting the knight. The knight apparently hitting the knight on d4. I'm hitting the knight on d4. So with both pieces, so if the pawn takes now, then queen takes d4. And again, it's a swap of pieces. Again, the computer's white, but there's nothing in it really. But he had a move, knight d5, in that situation, which would have caused me to do what I was intending to do in that situation, which was knight takes f2. Now, the position is a bit wild, but if the rook takes, then queen takes d4. Knight to c7. Queen takes d1. Sorry, the position. Rook takes. Queen takes d4. Knight to c7. Queen takes d1. Bishop takes d1. Knight to a6. Knight takes a8. Bishop d7, and white has the advantage, although it's a small advantage. It's a significant but small advantage, plus minus. Plus over minus. And let's go back. What if the knight takes the queen? And the knight takes the queen. Knight takes a8. Bishop to check. King to h2. Takes b2. And in that wild situation, wait for the computer to catch up. Black, well, it's pretty even. The computer can't work out its mind who's winning there. I can't make up my mind. It's too complicated. I'd the knight out of a8 quickly, but it's difficult to see how to get it out effectively. Well, while the rook is almost on prey to the bishop on d4 if the knight moves. So the knight can sacrifice itself to win the rook on a8, the knight on b2. Anyway, it's complicated. If he'd played knight d5 here, what he did do, I played queen b6. He made a mistake. He played knight to b5. I should have retreated the knight here. He should have played knight to d5, but he played knight to b5. Knight d to b5. I make a mistake here. I should have retreated the knight and just cut my losses. But I leave the knight quite remarkably to be taken again with a6. The idea behind a6 is if knight to a3, then knight takes f2, and if rook takes f2, bishop to d4. And that's what I was intending to play. Now I thought the bishop was pinned, the rook was pinned, and almost lost. But maybe he can get out of the pin because the computer likes the position for white here. As intended to play. But here he can play knight d5 even better. And after queen d8 it retreats. Knight b d c7. Rook a7. Bishop takes g4. e6. Attacking the knight defenses, the knight on c7. Bishop e3. Knight c6. Bishop takes a7, knight takes a7. The knight is still in serious threat here. c3, nothing better than c3. e takes d5, knight takes d5, and white is easily winning. His exchange and a pawn up, but only 3 pawns. And 3 pawns usually means more than that, because you get an advantage from having an advantage. So he would have been up in that situation, in that complicated situation, if he'd seen the computer line. But what he did after a6, going back to the position, so the knight is still, he took the knight, he took it at the wrong moment. I took the knight, his knight. He took the pawn. What he should do is knight d5 here, and he wins the pawn on b5, because I can't defend with the queen the pawn on b5 and the pawn on e7. But he plays knight takes b5. Then I play another unusual move. Bishop takes g4, which looks like it just gives away a bishop. But that bishop is defending the queen, the knight, and bishop is defending the knight on b5, the bishop on e2. Anyway, he plays bishop e3, which is as good a move as any. Although it gives me an advantage, so that is probably a blunder. Now I should have played queen takes b5 here. I missed that. Missed that in my analysis as well. That would have been a good move, an exciting move. But I missed an exciting move. Oh no! I play bishop takes e2. The idea behind queen takes b5 is if the bishop takes the queen, then the bishop takes the queen. Rook f takes d1, and although white has 2 bishops, he is he's losing a pawn on b2. So the pawn down with the 2 bishops. I'd rather have the pawn really. Bishop takes e2, going back to position. The queen's under attack on move 13. The queen takes e2. He doesn't play bishop takes b6. Queen c6. Bishop d4. That defends. I thought the pawn on e4 and the pawn on b2. The b2 pawn was being attacked by the bishop on g7. And the e4 pawn was being attacked by the queen on c6. So I thought one of them had to give. but he comes up with a good move. Bishop e4, which defends both the pawn on b2, and by moving out of the way, he's defending the queen, the pawn on e4. I take the bishop. As good a move as any. There's nothing in this position at all. Now I'm attacking the knight, trying to get into passive position onto b3, but he has none of it. Just by c3, again uncovering a defence with the queen of the pawn on b2 this time, and defending the dual purpose move, defending the knight on d4 with pawn c3. I attack the knight. I'm threatening to win a pawn, but he just defends with a rook. Knight takes, rook takes, he gets his rook into the game. I get my rook into the game. And my intention here is to play queen a6, which threatens his pawn on a2 and his queen on e2, and there's nothing he can do about it. He's got to swap off queens, he forces to swap off the queens. Now I was happy with a draw. So he plays rook b4, not noticing my attack. I play queen a6. Now I'm threatening to the pawn on a2 and the queen on e2, like I said, at the same time. So he's got to swap off queens. His best way to swap queens, he agrees a draw there. I asked him for a draw and he agrees a draw. If he swaps off and plays rook a4, he's threatening to trap my rook. It's only him that has the advantage. If I say move that, up to b6, a4, to b7, to d1, takes d5. These are possible moves. I have two weak pawns now, and all he has to do is attack them. Still probably drawn. What I would do, rook d8, and after rook takes a5, advance the pawn. That still leaves two connected passed pawns. He's the one with the advantage, as you expect from an 18-06 player. Surprised he accepted the draw. He did look drawn, but after those moves, I saw those moves. I saw something similar to that happening. And although I thought I could draw the position, I was a bit worried. That didn't work, does it? B3. B5. can't swap off.